Diversity Saves. This is our first in a series called Community Showcase, where we're going to be bringing in people from the community to learn more about their projects, to help uplift them, and just to bring them forward so that everybody can learn about them. I'm so excited. If this is your first time tuning into Diversity Saves, I'm going to slow down a little bit. If this is your first time tuning into Diversity Saves, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization made up of passionate BIPOC, LGBTQIA+, neurodivergent, and disabled TTRPG creators, actors, and fans who wanted to create a means to amplify voices, not only in the community, but in the works we consume across the industry. So, my name is Nekola. I'm going to be your host today. I use she, they pronouns. I am queer and neurodivergent, if you can't tell, and disabled. And also at my day job, I'm known as the person who sits there and quietly laughs with their headphones in and kind of is embarrassing. And honestly, nobody has really put that to the test lately more than this group, because I've been listening so much that I'm laughing all the time and I love them. So let's go ahead and go around and introduce yourselves. We talked about an icebreaker question and I didn't even do it. We're going to have them introduce themselves one by one, and then we have a little icebreaker question to kind of get to know them and just to get the conversation flowing. And our icebreaker today is using D&D 5e stats. What are your personal God level, your highest stat, and your dump stat, your lowest stat? For me, my lowest stat is strength, because I will just admit that I am a weak Victorian child. And my God level stat, people tell me it's charisma because I keep doing stuff like this, but the autism tells me it's not. And so I'm going to go with wisdom, because I'm really smart, but I don't always do smart things. Anyways, let's start with the dungeon mixtress themselves, Alix.
Hey, howdy, hi, y'all. My name is Alix. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me bopping around these internet streets on my personal socials at beacon.ai/AlixAMA on the little doohickey. So do the things. And I am the dungeon master for BaddieBards. Dump stat and god level stat. God level stat. I'll go with intelligence. I'm not the wisest person, but I do know smart things every now and then. And dump stat is definitely dexterity. Definitely dexterity.
Did I go the whole intro without saying that these are the BaddieBards? Because these are the BaddieBards. We are having a great time on the first one. I love it. Bluu.
Hi, my name is Bluu. My pronouns are they, them. I'm known in the internet streets as King V underscore Ness King with a Y. Um, I play Div and Echo and other chaotic fucking characters and many other things. And I didn't catch the personal in that icebreaker until just now. So when Alex was like intelligence, I was like, but you usually like strength builds. That's why I made that expression. Like you usually like to go boom. So I was surprised when you said
Mhm.
that. But personal though, I think my personal dump stat is probably intelligence, honestly. I'm not meant to work hard. I'm cute and I just want to like fucking lay around. I don't want to have to think about it. I just want to sit there and do my little doohickeys. I think that is my dumb stat. And I think my highest stat is charisma, but like truly it's the tizzy like shining through and people just dig my freaky ass vibes. So what did I say about y'all? I don't know.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Sateen.
Hey, my name is Sateen Bonnet. My pronouns is my name and none. And why did I forget the beginning already? I'm also here as a Baddie Bard co-founder, and the current character I play in Echo is Pet. And are we going with like what we want play wise or personal?
Your
for
personal.
Personal.
Sateen. Sateen's
Okay.
character sheet.
Okay. Wisdom top.
That's so true.
Agreed.
Dump
Deeply
stat
agreed. Yeah.
is going to be strength.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's real.
Nice. And Aepel.
Hi everyone. I'm Apple Juice. It's apple juice spelled like Beetlejuice, so that's why it's spelled weird. Pronouns are any and all. I'm also with the BaddieBards, and I play Dr. Mosea Bleak. Um, in terms of dump stats, I would have to say Constitution, because let there be any slight minor physical inconvenience happen to me ever, and see if I don't stop my whole day until it's resolved, like an eyelash fall on my eye or like a single tummy ache fucking grace my being, and whole day goes on fucking pause. In terms of god level stat, I think I would also have to follow with Bluu and say charisma. But again, I just have freaky vibes that I market well, so it just works out in my favor, and that's all.
Oh, you're muted.
Oh, I think you'd be mute.
Wow. Okay, cool. My roommates walked by, so I muted and didn't undo it.
Mm.
I love that, and I really relate to the Constitution, because I also am the same way, and the only way it's not the lowest is that I feel like I never get food poisoning. And everybody I know gets food poisoning. And so I let that just bump it back up to a 10, because I can tolerate that. Anyways, so why don't we take just a couple seconds and talk about what the BaddieBards is? Who would like to give a little elevator pitch?
Hey, hi,
Hi.
I can do that.
We were
Sure,
all
why
staring
not?
at you. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
Everybody was looking at me mad hard. Like,
Mhm.
okay, so BaddieBards is, to our knowledge, the first all black, all queer, all trans actual play podcast, period. And that's the way we like it, because we black, we queer, and we trans, clearly. Um, and currently we are doing a D&D game. Our main campaign is a D&D game called Echo. That's what everybody was referencing. And we actually just recently closed or did the finale of a short-term campaign using the RPG system called World Replica with a guest GM, Keon, big fan, love you babes. And it's a super dope collective of extremely creative, extremely talented, very impressive role players, creators, designers, you name it, we got it. So we are Himothy von Hemington. Just wanted to let that be known.
The art that you guys have of your characters and the little character cards for World Replica, fantastic.
Mhm.
You have it all. Have it all. All right, so let's start with what were your introductions into TTRPGs and how long have you been playing? Whoever wants to
Oh,
go
God.
first.
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
mine was COVID. Actually, like most people, COVID. I think I was dabbling in it a little bit before COVID, but when COVID hit, a bunch of friends like got online and we started a home game. It fizzled out. The very first one fizzled out. And then we tried again with like a different group, which was actually a lot of fun. But my character died in that one, so it's a little bittersweet. But after that, I couldn't find other people to play with, so I started to go on Start Playing. And I was playing with groups, and that was okay for a little bit. Like I got lucky in a couple of games where, like, for example, I was like lucky enough to join like a table that VJ Harris ran, and it was so much fucking fun. Phenomenal GM. But then I had some really also shitty experiences, like most people. But yeah, that was my first introduction to it. I think a friend just straight up hit me up and was like, "Have you ever played D&D?" And I was like, "What the fuck is D&D?" And it was just fucking uphill from there.
Oh, okay. So I can go. We were actually talking about this a little bit before the cameras turned on. But my introduction to TTRPGs in general was Taz, The Adventure Zone. That was the first TTRPG podcast I ever listened to, and I would listen to it while I was like doing coding stuff, whatever. Um,
Mm.
but then like I was in a group, like a Discord group of queer leftist people. And one of the people there was a trans woman, big fan, Clever was awesome, and she wanted to run a one shot, and she was like, does anybody want to play D&D? I was like, the hell is D&D? Same thing that Bluu said. And we by that point I had like listened to a little bit, and I was like super like chomping at the bit, and I was like ready to play. So I rolled a bard named Tadra, my very first character. Never, as a matter of fact, the only time I've played a bard since then is very recently, in like the last couple of weeks.
Aw.
um yeah, in your game. Every other
Mhm.
time it's been a big boy with a big hammer and a big attitude. But yeah, that was my introduction to TTRPGs. It was Taz and cool leftist people.
I love that.
Mhm.
I think my introduction was when I was in like either middle school or high school. It was an actual play called like role play, ROLL play. And that was like a 3.5 actual play. So it was probably
Oh, shit.
like the first time I'd like seen D&D and like actually like, enjoyed like watching D&D. And then it kind of went on the back burner for a bit, and then Critical Role came out, and so D&D kind of became not exactly mainstream, but like nerd mainstream. And so I watched, and then I remember I forget which actual play I was watching, but I remember being like, oh, I could probably do that better. And it was me just gathering a bunch of like fucking like high school friends and forcing them to sit down while I tried to DM my first campaign. And it went really well, and then the rest was history. And yeah, it was just a really fun time.
Sateen.
And for me, I had to like do from the real beginning. I started role playing in general as text role play on Neopets, and then Gaia Online, and then Avid
Come on,
Gamers.
baby.
So like I have like I feel like it's over 20 years right now of just role playing text play, kind of like that. But the first time I ever played, the first time I attempted to play Dungeons and Dragons was in college. Did not like it was just all combat. They was just throwing it out. I'm like, I don't know how to play this game. I don't like this. Let me go back to text role play. So that's what that was the start. But like after, I think it's every like around the beginning, a little bit more before COVID like hit, like around the 2018s, I started watching. My first TTRP series was Kolok, a Kids on Bike series, in which I was like, this is amazing. I want to do this. Like before even D&D was a thing for me, it was like story driven versions of TTRPGs, and you could roll dice. I said that's cool. And then I guess we have that whole starter thing with me and Alix. Black girls, what's it, Black Girls Gamers?
Black Girl Gamers. Yeah.
Yes, that I saw that I had some uh I had some chances of role playing, but it usually fizzled out really quickly. So Alix was like, hey, do you want to do you want to play a TTRPG like D&D? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then that's how it began.
The rest is literally history.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
I didn't realize until literally now that all of that role playing on Neopets totally prepared me for TTRPGs. And I'm so and
Yes.
we got this far in,
Configuration.
and I was not the one to bring it up. But Neopets, they're also making a resurgence. and they're kind
Yes.
of anyway. That's just my little weird thing.
It was Cluck Penguin for me.
I was
Yes.
Gaia Online. I was Gaia Online.
I was in chat rooms like xat.com. No business being on there.
All right, what about your favorite game system? And favorite setting or second favorite, if your favorite is the one you're playing in now, your space campaign.
Not to be biased, but I don't know. Echo is a pretty fucking cool setting, if I do say so myself, and it's because it is
Beautiful.
we collaborated on it.
Mhm.
We really like sat down and talked a lot about the planets and like the nature of the world itself and like the organizations at play, and that is my fucking jam, and that is the best thing about playing TTRPGs to me is like the collaborative storytelling. So Echo would, be definitely one of my favorite settings. My second favorite setting currently, oh fuck. Okay, I'm tied between I have a home campaign that where it's like a Oops All Vampires game right now, and I'm obsessed with my character in that. And then I'm also really having a lot of fun in my other game that I stream on a friend named Prim, the Autolados channel. It's called Mortui Evil Descent. It is our Call of Cthulhu game where I play Dr. Venus Redwood. That I love a mystery, so that's why that's like another great setting for me. I don't get to play like dark settings often, so in the like two latter are rather dark. So yeah, it's a nice change.
Favorite system
I forgot about that.
at this precise moment, Under Hollow Hills is my favorite system.
I don't think I've heard of that
Um,
one.
Under Hollow Hills is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, the conceit of which is you are in a circus under a hill as fairies. Yeah, it's as dope as it sounds.
That's the
It's
system we'll be
super
playing
fucking
for
dope.
Chasing Caspian.
That is the system that we'll be playing for Chasing Caspian, which is a game that we are sort of putting out for Pride Month. So that's actually when we were talking a little bit before stream, that's the thing that I made the streaming overlays for. So yes, you get to see us in real time playing this bomb ass system, which I have been obsessed with since October of last year. So that's my favorite system
Obsessed.
right now.
I
Big
wrote it in
fucking
our
fan.
doc because I gotta
Yeah.
check this out.
I don't blame you. It's a good one. You got to check it out. And it's really unique too. It's a Powered by the Apocalypse system just in general, but it's a really unique take on that, which I like a lot. Anyhow, favorite setting or environment? Huh. So, okay, my favorite setting so far is not, well, Echo is definitely the main one. So I guess it's the one in the podcast. But the second favorite is the one from our first home game, Lament. Um reactions are so funny. No,
I'm
but the
loving
second
this.
one
Tell me
is
more.
so Lament was the game that we played to sort of get to know each other. I'm not even gonna bullshit you. The way that we role play on Echo is because we played Lament first, if that makes sense. So the story of Lament is very near and dear to my heart. The setting of Lament is very near and dear to my heart, and I love each of the characters that have come and gone in that story. So yeah, that setting, big fan. And it was the first game that I had ever run. So it's always gonna have a special place in my heart.
What kind of genre was it in?
It was your typical high fantasy. There were pirates, and we started off on a pirate ship being attacked, and then
it. Love a pirate.
Bluu fucked a dragon, so that was great.
Hey now, I made
Have
a
no
dragon my
defense.
boyfriend.
Moving on. So moving on.
Fuck the dragon.
And
Right,
moving
okay, thank you.
on. Yeah, we romanced the big bad as you tend to do. Come on,
guess.
like live it the fuck up. We had a great fucking time element. I love that fucking game so much, and we haven't been able to play it in a while. And I think I asked to play it at least once a fucking month.
Yes, correct.
I want to get back to playing it, but it's been on hiatus, unfortunately. Yeah, Lament is a great fucking setting. Your typical like, you know, band of adventurers whose fate happens to tie together. But Alix like isn't doing it near enough justice because they had a really cool thing where it was like the fates of the past heroes were connected to our current fates, and we were kind of like repeating, you know, the actions. They ended up taking my character on some like mad scientist wizard bullshit. And then like you know, Sateen's character being like God's favorite. It was a lot of just
God's
very
favorite.
fun.
Literally God's favorite.
Reluctant God's
Literally.
favorite.
Listen, but yeah, sorry, I fucking leveled it. That's all.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Upwards.
so
Go ahead.
oh, you want to go, Apple?
No, I was just saying, pick.
Sure. Yeah, I would say for like favorite system, like for like moving, I guess outside of like D&D 5e, because that's kind of like the main system that like I'm familiar with. A system I've been like aching to play in is Mutants and Masterminds, which is like a superhero system, and I'm a huge like comic nerd. It's a little bit crunchy, but like I don't mind that. Yeah, I've been like really aching to like play that system. In terms of favorite setting, obligatory like Echo, just because again we like built that together and kind of like have been doing like fun like back and forth between like DM and players to kind of make that setting into something that like suits all of us. I think like favorite setting would have to be a campaign that Bluu ran ages ago, which was like a Fae campaign, of like a Feywild like court intrigue campaign, like super role play heavy, super like intrigue heavy. It was a wonderful fucking cacophony of backstabbing and romance and betrayal and toxicity of Fae people all trying to overthrow Titania. It was really great, really fun.
Love the face stuff.
Mhm.
This is gonna be really hard for me because a lot of the systems I do like are smaller indie ones. So my
We love those.
favorite right now is Blood Vessel, and I got a couple here, there, monsters. Gunslinger. I really want to play with somebody with Gunslinger, and there's another one called it's a lot of I want to play this, and when can I play this soon? And oh yeah, Alice is Missing. I could run that game anytime with anybody, in which I'm gonna run it soon for a couple of people, and I can't wait. And my favorite settings, and which we haven't played in it yet, I, as everyone says, I love Echo. I love sci-fi. Space operas is my thing. I love that. That's my favorite genre. My backup is gay westerns, cowboys. So like, if just so Alix, I'm looking at you. If we just so happen to do a gay western story, like with cowboys, mix it up, even pirates, you know, gay pirate cowboys. My favorite.
Gay pirate cowboy.
It's a lot.
Write that down. Write that down.
Write that down. And my last
I'm
one.
gonna put it in the doc.
Yeah.
Gay pirate. Gay pirate
And-
just sounds like an oxymoron.
You know?
Cowboys.
As long as it's gay, queer, trans, I will play the game. That's pretty much it. I am like, I'll play anything.
Word. Yeah.
Real.
I want to add on to like dope ass indie RPGs that are my favorite right now. Witchhood by Meadow. I believe Meadow's like or gets called like Meadowlark Games. It's
Yes.
so fucking cool. Like I watched Hex Heist that Girls Run These Worlds
Yeah.
did for Black History Month. It was so freaking cool. I
Fire.
love the system. I cannot wait to get my claws on it and fucking play it.
Obligatory shout out to God Killer too, because I watched
Yes.
that game. Have to play that game.
I have to
Have to.
finish it.
It's a necessity. Yes, you do.
I know.
I've been screaming for
I
9 million years, chomping at my enclosure. Oh, I also wanted to point out, Sateen said that one of their favorite like genres is space opera. I want to give
Mm,
credit where it's due. The reason that Echo is a space opera is because Satine suggested it. No bullshit. Satine
yep.
was like, "Oh, we could do a space opera or a spaghetti western or blah blah blah," and I was like, "Oh, space opera." Jot that down.
Mhm.
And that was what gave birth to Echo.
Yes.
We're going to skip a couple questions because I want to talk more about Echo since we're talking about Echo as a setting. But also,
Hmm.
if you are watching live on the Twitch and you have questions that you want to contribute to the conversation, just drop them in the chat and our moderator will feed them up to us. But let's talk about Echo. I love Echo so much. We're going to get general, but first we're going to get specific. Whose idea was the tourist planet near the very beginning, where y'all ran a scam that didn't work, but also the whole planet was just like there was biospheres and there were dinosaurs. Oh, it was beautiful.
Map is 66 is definitely one of
That
my
one.
favorite fucking planets.
Mm-hmm.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Map of
Wasn't
66 was a
it?
lot of fun.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it Pet and Div's plan? Or was it
No,
Dr. Blue? I can't see
no.
it being Mosey's
I'm gonna
plan. Like,
just because I have re-listened to it recently, it was totally
mhm.
Dr. Bleak. And I'm sorry, Apple.
Let it be known.
Air it
But
out.
also,
Yes.
it did make me fall in love with Dr. Bleak, because it was beautiful.
Mhm.
But yes, running a yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, and this was may have been like talked about like in Roll for Thickness a little bit. I think Dr. Bleak's reasoning for like going to Mappa 66 and running a scam was they had minor spoilers like the very beginning of the campaign, but they had just like broken out of this prison of a lot of them. And Dr. Bleak was very aware that Pet and Div were like close and tight, and that up until now she was like a glorified hostage, and they really had like no reason to not like abandon her on the nearest planet. So it was sort of like, well, I gotta like initiate myself and ingratiate myself to these bunch of chaotic fucking thieves. What better to do that than to go on a tourist planet and just pull a massive fucking scam right off the bat, have some fun. Um, and I think that was like Dr. Bleak's reasoning for Mappa 66 in terms of like Mappa 66 like lore and like environment. That was all Alix though. That was our lovely DM.
That it was fantastic. And like Space Steve Irwin, I guess we can go back a little bit because the podcast does start out as with a jailbreak, a mighty fantastic jailbreak.
Yeah, they
But
did a
then
really good job.
also we bring in Moby as my co-host. This is
Hi,
Moby.
Moby.
He needs a little love right now.
Good.
He
Give him
is
extra
just so sweet.
scritches.
He needs extra scritches.
Mhm.
He is my little toothless boy. I really love him.
The gentleman
Big old
himself.
baby.
Hi.
Oh, that's
Hi,
Uh,
precious.
Okay, so back to the questions that I prepared because I got so many topics to talk about. Let's go back to before the podcast and like, how did you all meet? I know before Moby Sheds, before we went live, Alix was touching on this a little bit, but how did you all meet and where did the idea to start a podcast come from?
So me and Blueberry have been like Facebook friends for 9 million years at this point. Um, and then Blueberry started this really dope server to, do TTRPG stuff and just hang out and be black and be chill. Um, and then I guess I got a wild hair up my ass one day. Um, and like presented them this idea. We and was just like, hey, so you want to record us playing games? I think that'd be very fun. Let's do it.
Yeah, because we had been playing Lament for a while at that point. I think we
Yeah.
remember coming up on like a year of having Play Lament, and then Alex
Yeah.
brought us to the table like, wouldn't it be cool if people listen to our stories? And I was like, actually, yes, that would be
Yeah.
very fucking cool. I think we have stories worth listening to and sharing. And now that we have been doing it, best fucking thing you could have ever done, Alex, truly hitting us up and starting this. It's, I don't know, it's just really cool to be able to do this with y'all, and people like listen to us and are like, hey, I like your shit, like, you like the cut of my
Yeah.
jib.
Yeah. That is pretty fire. And
Yeah.
to be fair, we met Sateenius. We met Sateenius through Black Girl Gamers. I like put out the call looking for other Black, queer, and trans people. They had to fit all those demographics because otherwise I'm not going, basically. But I was like looking for other Black, queer, and trans people to play this game with us. And Satine responded and was like, yeah, let's roll some dice. And I was like, fuck yeah. And Apple Pie,
I think Apple and I
Blueberry
met through a different, Apple and I met on a different production. That was a lot of fun. Apple was the GM for it. It was like this historical Black magic college type vibe. And yeah, like that's how we connected. I still play with that table now, and it's been like 3 years, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
I want to
like
say,
three going on
yeah.
4.
It's been a great fucking time.
Truly.
Yeah, met Apple through that, brought Apple into the server. I love it when your friends group mix, like.
it's like a
great.
delicious salad. But and then Blueberry kind of like made this suggestion like Apple should play at the table with us, and I was like, fuck yeah, I've heard great things. I've heard great things about Apple's like roleplay GMing prowess. I still have to sit at their table, no bullshit. But it all just sort of worked. I don't know how. Like the creativity gods, the nine muses looked at us and was like, yeah, y'all got this, and like put us all in the right place at the right time, and here we are. It's pretty dope. And not only that, I just have to point out that this table has genuinely spoiled me for other tables. The way that we play together, unprecedented for me. Literally unprecedented. Like flash in the pan type shit. And I don't find this level of chemistry, creativity, love, empathy, care at other tables, full stop. So when I go and play at other tables, people have big shoes to fill. Truly and honestly, this table is my favorite thing in the world. It's truly my favorite thing in the world, and
The
these are my
feeling is
favorite people.
deeply mutual. We talk about it
Truly,
all the fucking
yeah.
time.
That
Yeah.
euphoria, role play euphoria is really true.
Yes.
Like I do like the behind the scenes, like listening to the episodes. So like I have officially have listened to all of season 1 and 2,
No shit.
all of RPG, all of our stuff over 200 times just to be able to get
Goddamn.
that information I need. And every single time I be like, Alex, can you upload this? Every 5 minutes,
like
right
immediately.
after, can you upload this? And I said, I'm gonna
Recording.
listen to it on when I'm going to work, because it's like that's part of my that's part of my like enjoyment afterwards, like after the high of that role-playing session that was so intense, and then listening again, I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds real good right there.
Yeah.
It really comes through as like an outside listener. I half expected you to all to answer this question, that we've been friends since childhood and we've known each other forever and we've had tons of practice to get to it. But no, the dynamic really comes through in the podcast. And especially when the players get a little antagonizing while Alix is making a decision. It is just beautiful. I love it.
They
Yeah, my
definitely
favorite
love
moment.
yeah.
My favorite
It's-
moments with me and Apple was like the gun situation.
Okay,
Yeah.
I put was saving some quotes in case we needed to actually like talk about them. And I needed to fill. So give me 1 second.
Lay it on us. Yes.
We have I think Pet says you're gonna need to dodge this, and Mosea just the bullets and just gets shot.
Best fucking moment. I popped it.
That's
like-
yes.
Realistically, what are you supposed to do?
What are you supposed to fucking do?
You rolled like a 25, 20. I don't know. It was amazing.
It's ridiculous how high my my sheet is for it. And I was like, I cannot, if I do like a regular, because we were just, you know, being organic in that moment, just let it roll with it. Because I could have literally downed Aepel's character if I took that other shot. Because on my sheet, I'm trying to remember, I have a +7 to any of my attacks. So like double attack for both of them, and I'm using a weapon, and I have I'm using gunslinger. So like it's just like it was amazing. It was just like we came up with that moment with each other, and we had like a I'm laughing because
it really highlights how talented you all are, that the listener is then going to literally 2 minutes later have the most terrifying monologue from Dr. Bleak. That made me just like stare at my like keyboard at work. I was like, God, it was fantastic. And this is why everybody needs to listen, because it's, anyways, continue.
Yes.
Correct.
yeah, some of the monologues in the show,
So fucking good.
Yo,
so good.
If there's
I
one thing
was
about
saying
Pat
that-
and Dr. Bleak, they gonna fucking monologue. They gonna
As
deliver
they
a
should.
fucking monologue, and I
as
love
they
it.
should. Give it
Yes.
to me. Num num num
Yes.
num.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally, some good fucking food. You
Because
know.
even like Alex, like when
Yes.
Alex is like setting like particular scenes and like setting up like particular like moments in the campaign and in sessions, like some of like the word choice I've actively like stolen, like, oh, I'm gonna use that in the campaign later. I'm actively like plucking that, absolutely taking that for myself.
It is
Okay.
just so
I just
beautiful.
be trying to catch up to Aepel for real. That's all I be doing.
Truly the wordsmith of the group. Like, yeah, very much that.
And currently my favorite therapist.
You know,
We've been saying all these names and kind of skipped over. So I'm gonna back it up just a tiny amount. Talking about your characters. Specifically for Echo, but I know that you two of you participated in World Republic, so we can also talk about those. But what were the who are your characters? What were their inspirations? Or for Alix, your inspirations for some NPCs? And I'm just going to throw it out the little whole paragraph now. How much of yourselves do you put into the character? And have your characters changed a lot from your original vision in ways that you have not expected?
I'm gonna let y'all
Throw
go
out the
first.
deep questions.
Mhm.
right? Go first.
Yeah.
Oh, do you
You
want me to go
do it?
first? Oh,
Mhm.
I was
Yes.
gonna say,
Go for it.
let me tell you, I'll just say too, me and Bluu connected on creating characters together. So we were like, I was like, when we were starting off with Echo, I said, do you want to be you know, do you want to work together? And we did. So my summary of my character, Pet, in which I don't think I barely even say my full name, and
Maybe
it,
like twice, and like that's it.
yeah, I only said it twice in the campaign so far. I think I said it at the beginning. I'm not too sure. I don't remember, but my full character name is Pettigale Pez Deku. Other stuff involved with that, but they are space baddie out for revenge. So when I started my character, because it takes me like, I really like to go in depth with my character flaws. So my thought was like, okay, I have a revenge-based character, but I don't want it to be like a murder hobo kind of like situation. So like, what does it look like with somebody who is involved with community that wants revenge, but also must think about other people around them? So to give in order to be included. So like the idea of there is like a aspect of mostly in I think it started in season 2 that I started a little bit of my vengeance stuff, but it took a while because of the idea of Pet being a survivor of event. So like trust is not a huge thing for Pet. So as I'm planning my characters, I have a goal for them each session, each like with in some background stuff. I have made short stories just for the campaign. And I give it to someone, I gave it to Alix, I give it to some people and everything, but I have my own personal to help me set up about my character. Any character I make is completely a riff off of a remake of a trope. There's some aspect of myself in the characters, but most of it is just random tropes I enjoy wanting to play. So each character I make is completely different, have different backgrounds and reason and motivations in order to be like, how am I going to grow from this? So how is Pet going to grow from being a silent but like community caring person to the aspect, what is the result of someone actually starting to go down the line of vengeance? Of like, am I going to throw away my community for it? Is my community going to be there for me? Or does community matter anymore when there's one focus idea? So that's my character. I don't know what the other question was.
I forgot. Has your character changed? Nope. Okay, I thought I muted myself. Has your character changed a lot from what you originally predicted?
No.
Also, I think we skipped over the part where Pet describing Pet, because Pet is a fabulous drag queen and I love that.
Yes. Let's see. Pet is a GIF tri-king mix. So they're a pinkish hippo with beautiful lunar moth wings. They have the sickening bob with like this paint to the gods, everything skin type. They're kind of like I'm not gonna say goth, but they like just wearing dark, very leather see-through clothing, and they have like they stomp in these high boots.
Fabulous.
The original Space Baddie.
Original Space Baddie. But yeah, my character, I have not changed it because I have an arc for my own character. And I was like telling Alix the other day, like I already see like how my character is going to go depending on the people I talk to and interventions along the way.
All right, who's next?
I honestly want to hear about Dr. Bleak. Aepel, do you want to go?
Sure, yeah, I can go. So I play Dr. Mosea Bleak. Dr. Mosea Bleak is a licensed therapist with a PhD. They sort of the beginning of the podcast, it's a prison break. Dr. Mosea Bleak is one of the only people who are working at the prison at the time of the breakout, and subsequently hands in her resignation. But I think
Badass moment.
Truly, Dr. Mosea Bleak. No, thank you. I think as a character, I think I based Dr. Mosea Bleak off of like those slightly like off-puttingly like nice people, like where they're speaking in a customer service voice, but you like really can't say anything about it because like you're the customer. So I think like in terms of characters I had based her off of, one was like Judy from like the avatar of like the hi, my name's Judy. Like welcome to Boss
Oh
Sing Say.
yeah.
There's no war in
Mhm.
Bossing Cycle.
There is
There
no
is
more
no
in
war in
Bossing
Boxing
Say.
Say.
No
So
war
like
in Bossing.
very like clinically nice, very like pleasant, but like off-puttingly pleasant. I think this is like a bit of a deep cut, but I also based her off of like Dr. Glenn Pierce from Superliminal, just like the very like calm dreams, like, hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce, and just saying the most disturbing shit in the calmest and nicest voice that you could possibly fathom. I do think that she's changed a bit from what I originally imagined her as. She's changed a lot. Because I don't want to get in like too many spoilers. But I think of like what I initially envisioned for Dr. Bleak was kind of like the team mom, as it were, and that is very much not the role she slipped into as the
Mhm.
campaign progressed. Of just like being like, well, she's definitely the healer because like in combat she heals, but I think I built Dr. Bleak to be not very like good at combat. She's good at like healing and like support. But in terms of like the role she takes in the party, she is, I think, very much like the crazy aunt almost, or like the
For
crazy
sure.
cousin, like the like sort of like on the fringes. Still fun to have around, but definitely not like in any position of like authority or like emotional like support that I had like envisioned her being. But it's very fun to like see how like she falls into like her new roles, like these people in a setting that she nor I could have possibly predicted her being in. So that's very fun either way.
I love the therapy aspect of it. It just is
Mhm.
so silly. Anyway,
I really like how all our characters have changed up what I just thought that was gonna be like as saying like Aepel being the mom character in like coming I don't even know, do we even have a mom character? I think I'm just like the
No.
I
the
mean,
dad
vaguely.
character. I'm the
And
I
like
dad
mean,
character.
there is
vaguely
an
we have
actual
like we
mom.
have an actual mom character, but like in terms of like team mom, or like this is the character that we go to
No,
for
not
emotional
at all.
We
support and
don't.
stability and authority.
Mm-mm.
We do not have that. We're a
We
bunch of
don't
fucking
have that.
orphans running around
Yep.
utterly fucking despondent.
Yep.
We just have found
110 fucking
family.
percent.
We just have found family.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, we do. You're not wrong about that. Um, I'll go. I played Div. Div is like the official species for Div is Autognome, but like we flavor it as an android. They were built to be a like destructive interplanetary void. I think medium would be the right word, like using an arcane black hole to make shit go boom, honestly. Like it wasn't created with that intent, but you know, whatever. Anyways, Div was left by their creator. Shit got a little hairy because their creator got locked up, and their whole thing has been trying to reconnect with Dr. JT. They ended up on a planet, on the same planet as Pet, which is how our characters like met and formed the gang that they have, the Pink Goon Balloon Gang. And yeah, Div is a little rascal. Div is a chaotic little fucking guy. I love that thing. I don't even know how to like honestly describe their personality. I think Div is, as I'm thinking about it, like I think Div is honest actually to sometimes, depending, unless it's about the black hole. They're very honest unless it's about the black hole. I think. And I think they deeply value like loyalty, and people who kind of uphold that, which is why I think Pet and Div like hit it off so well, because I think Pet, like they didn't like each other at first, but I think Pet like very much showed that they were still like, you know, down for their friends and loyal to like the community around them. And I think that is what Div was like attached to when meeting Pet. But yeah, they have, you know, daddy issues, for lack of a better word. I like that Div did not immediately like hit it off with Dr. Bleak because of, oh yeah, we said this in the session already, because like Dr. Bleak reminded them of a friend who betrayed Div and Pet, which is why they ended up in a fucking maximum security prison in the first place. And yeah, they didn't like the doc because of that. But I love the kind of slow burn of that friendship and how Div has now come to like care deeply about the doc. I'm surprised I'm even saying the doc because like Div was not trying to call Mosey the doc at first, but like now they do call Mosey the doc. Div is, when I make characters, I honestly don't make future plans for them. I make them and I tell the GM to fuck me up. So that is where that goes. I love being able to give like and trust my DMs to just have complete creative freedom with like the shit that I give them because they do it big 9 times out of fucking 10. And I love that. I wanted to explore the idea of looking up to somebody and like creating this version of someone in your head and kind of like idolizing that and then coming back face to face with the actual person or entity and them not living up to that, or like your entire perception of them was not like reality. It was really like what you were projecting onto them. I don't know what type of person Dr. JT is because I have like told Alex I have fun with that. So we'll see. And I think too, like lately, I've been wanting to explore Div's codependency. I think they have developed like a sort of codependency with Pet that they are not quite aware of, but it is becoming aware to them the more they are losing control of their artificial arcane black hole. Yeah.
I have to ask, if Div is a druid. Not, because of wild shape or anything, because of that -1 to nature. Because in D&D, why is nature not a wisdom stat? Sorry.
I really
Because
feel like they should-
survival is. If you want to survive, you got wisdom. If you want to know which plant looks like which plant and there's a pointy leaf versus a round leaf, you got to study. Read a book.
Okay,
Nah,
that's fair, but I hate it.
I, Nekola the Druid, will no.
Survival. You want survival.
Fine. I just love that. I was like, oh yeah, that's such a druid thing. Anyways.
Yeah, Div is a druid barbarian, and like honestly, mechanically, it doesn't make sense for me to play this because we're level 8. I can't extra attack right now, and that's probably be useful for my character right about now. But I don't give a fuck about that. I'm in it for the role play, baby. And that's it. That's all. I'm straight vibes when it comes to my classes and such. So yeah, I thought dipping Div into those druid levels where it was really important, especially because like their whole purpose was to be able to clear like what is it called? What is the word I'm looking for? Can I phone a friend? What is the term I'm looking for, y'all? Terraforming, that's it. Their whole purpose,
yes.
that they were created for was to like terraform places. The IOC wanted to use that for like colonization reasons, and that's why Dr. JT like ran with Div. And so I think that is another reason like why I chose Druid for them. And I think this sort of like anger issues that they developed came when they started to travel on the run, and that's why they have those barbarian levels. But Div is like fun, but my first character that's built dumb and cannot add shit to Arcana, and I love making an intelligent character and trying to figure out all the magic stuff. So it's been rough.
I also I love you can very much tell that you're role play focused because I can't think of one time in the podcast that you actually say what classes your characters are.
Yeah.
So I figured out the druid thing because I'm literally that is the only thing I ever play and it's my favorite thing in the world. But that is not very much of a focus. And so I just want to point that out that I like that. Anyways, but I know Alix still needs
That's
to go.
so true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll talk about 2 different characters just very briefly. So the two NPCs, my two favorite NPCs at this precise moment are Zand and Oku at this precise moment.
You know,
Uh yeah. And Zand, okay. So what was the question? How much of yourselves do you put into your characters? Zand, I put a portion of an older version of me into this character to justify her behavior, right? Or to at the very least make sense of her behavior. Um, and for Oku, I put people that I know into this character. So the cool thing is, because Echo is done so collaboratively, they really did just give me these characters, give me names, give me pronouns, and give me classes and say, okay, do the thing. And so I got to take these characters and run buck wild. So there was a world in which Oku was not necessarily apologetic. There was a world where Oku was still stiff and emotionally stunted, but that world is not this one. Thank goodness, because she is absolutely one of my favorite characters right now. And Zand, interestingly enough, makes me feel compassion. Zand makes me feel compassion because I know where her bullshit comes from. Like on a personal level, I understand where her bullshit comes from. So for this character, um, I baby just need therapy. That's all. She just need therapy. It's cool. She just need therapy. Just gonna blow up the planet a little bit because I am unhealed type shit. Some people just want to watch the world burn while they cry about it. And that's very much Zan's energy. And have these characters change from what I originally predicted? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because I was given basically blank canvases and I added random stuff to them, but they're not really made 3D until the characters that they are connected to interact with them. So when Pet decided to answer Oku's letter, I had Oku in existence. Oku was there. But Oku did not come to life until Pet, or Sateen in this case, breathed life into that character. And the same is going to go for Dr. JT and anybody else we happen across in the next tellings of this story. So yeah, they've changed a lot. The fun part about Echo is the malleability. It's the fact that these characters take on lives of their own. They take on like voices of their own. We are merely conduits, and it's really incredible. It's magical. It is.
I wanted to add into it, so because I know we didn't say like who they are.
Oh yeah.
We were just saying names because we're like so
Yeah.
entrenched with the. We already had emotionally feeling when I heard
Yeah.
Zan's name.
Yeah, I
And
saw it.
also Oku, but Zan is Bluu's best friend. I mean, our sworn enemy, because they're the one who portrayed us in the beginning. They're also one of the leaders of Pink Boon. Why do I get it wrong? Pink Boon. Okay, our group, and it's all our best. That is our best friend. Like for Pet, that's their best friend. And with all the things I explained earlier about how they are, for them to betray them, yeah.
Mhm.
Not a fun situation. And then
no.
Oku is their estranged mother, who has not been in their lives for more than 10 years. So yeah.
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 I when you said that Zand was one of your favorite, I just had this like moment of like, that's beautiful. And then I realized we didn't talk about who Zand was. that this person right off episode 1 is like public enemy number 1 because of what happens. And I just love the storytelling that you put into it, so much so that you love that character. That's beautiful.
Zansha has been a lot of fun to explore. We are recording season 3 right now, and we're getting into it.
Ooh,
And it's been a time.
It has.
Oh,
It's been a
it's been
time.
a time.
so we're gonna pause for me to be a little fangirl, because I'm so enveloped in the story now. I don't even. Okay. Whew. Anyways, professional. Okay. So, we're on this very emotional ride. So I'm going to skip down a couple questions to talk about how do you prepare? Because there have been some very intense moments on the show. Do you prepare ahead of time and talk about that? And how do you all decompress after you've had an emotion like that, or, a little fight or something like that? How do you essentially take care of yourselves when these really big emotional things happen?
So, uh, one of the things that helps is the fact that we do have a separation between the characters and the players. So we try to mitigate bleed that way. And there is a lot of trust, there's a lot of love, and there's a lot of care at this table. So it's it's safer to go there than it would be if there weren't those things already in place. We've been playing together for a couple of years at this point. So I think I can't speak for everybody, but as the GM, like looking over this, I think there's enough of an understanding of how each other person plays to know that it's not I'm yelling at Dr. Bleak, not at Aepel type shit. You know what I mean? And then after we take 15, decompress, and then we actually have instituted this for season 3, because things are going to get emotional and hectic, blah, blah, blah. So one of the things that we're going to do as well is to implement just decompression in general aftercare sort of situation. And at this precise moment, what we do, we take 15 before we do roll for thickness. Roll for thickness is like the hee hee ha ha immediately after. And then after that, we do stars and wishes. So that helps to sort of like bring everybody back, bring everybody down. So that way you're not living at that heightened state for an overly long amount of time, like just long enough for the scene to end. And then we can close, understand that there's love and there's care here and everybody's kosher. There are also, obviously, there are guardrails in place while we're playing. We haven't actually had to use them much, if at all, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we haven't had to do like the X or O cards or anything like that. There have been 1 or 2 things that had to get, discussed or whatever. But other than that, it's been relatively safe. And I think that comes from the table and the players at the table caring about one another in a way that makes sense for them. But I mean, that's just from what I can see. So,
I think it's the fact too that we do check-ins with each other. Like we will have like sometimes we don't plan out hiding scenes. Honestly, I think oftentimes we don't. They just
No.
happen. And but we check in with each other like, hey, like in that moment, like, are you good? You know what I mean? How are you feeling? We take that second to temperature check with each other. And like Alex said, we have been doing stars and wishes, but that has also served as our like decompression time, honestly, because we talk about these things like during that as well. Sometimes if we're not wanting to like verbally, like, you know what I mean, tap the individual, like I'll message people like, are you good? Like, was that too much? How do you feel about doing this? Or so on and so forth. Yeah, and like Alex said, like we have our safety tools Roll20 like has a really cool safety feature where they have the safety cards, and if you use them, they are just plastered for everybody to see. It's not easy to miss at all, and it's anonymous. And so we always like use those in our games because we often host our games on Roll20. So we always implement tools like that as well. But I think it is like what Alex said. I think it's important for people to come with the intention to like not harm others. And I think that's a very simple, basic human thing to do. Um, and it's a little surprising how many people don't got that bone in their body though, you know what I mean? So safety is one thing that we take like really seriously. So when we do like our outside productions, we are sending over like lines and veil sheets. Our session zeros are long as hell, admittedly, and it's because a chunk of them is going over safety extensively. We have, when we're doing like outside productions, we have made it so we have a member who is acting as a producer and a member who is acting as a safety team member to be there in case anything, needs to happen or has happened. So we've thought a lot about these things and maybe are even over prepared, but I'd rather us be over prepared than under prepared. So
Yeah. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
very much that.
Especially when you're role playing. Like, I'm in a soapbox for like 2.5 seconds, right? Okay,
Have at
so the bonkers thing about TTRPGs is that you're literally playing pretend. And that is a very vulnerable space. Like, we're grown ass adults rolling dice and playing characters. It's glorified dress up as a personality. That's what it is. And to be in that vulnerable space with other people who are doing the exact same thing, it's fucking scary. It's scary and it's vulnerable and it can be dangerous if you're doing it with the wrong people, period, point blank. So it's important to have those lines and veils in place so that way nobody, like, we all have shit, capital STM. We all have shit and trauma and crap that we've gone through. Nobody wants to touch on that when you're playing a fairy doing intrigue stuff. Like, I just want to be a gay little fairy taking down a king. That's what I want to do. I don't want to talk about my history with whatever the fuck, right? Like, so it's important to have those things in place because if you don't, you can hurt somebody in a big way, and you don't want to do that. It's important to not do that, to come from a place of care from the very beginning, because if you don't, you are responsible for the pain that you inflict on other people, period, point the fuck blank. So at our table, it's extremely important. And honestly and truly, I give Bluu and Sateen a lot of credit for this too. It's extremely important that we hold each other with care. And Bluu and Sateen actually are the ones who sort of like drilled that into my head because I was a new GM. They had been doing this. I was a new GM, so session zero did not compute for me at all. But now, like, I've been doing this for a few years. I've got my sea legs at this point, and now I take it just as seriously as they do, and just as seriously as Aepel does at their tables. It's important, man. You don't want to fuck people up when you're trying to have a good time. We're here to roll dice and tell a bomb ass story. This is not the time to poke at trauma, you know? So, okay.
I want to
Off
add
my
on to that,
soapbox.
Alex. Even when you are trying to poke at trauma, because some folks, there are dark RPGs out there. There are people who
Of
want to work
course.
through like their experiences through trauma. It's still the fucking same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you still, and even more so when you're dealing with difficult topics. And like a system I could
Yeah.
think of immediately is like Inner Demons. They have a trauma mechanic, but they
Hmm.
express in the book how important it is to have like safety precautions set up.
Hmm.
I'm thankful enough to be like exploring this system for the first time that I was really hesitant to because of those themes with like, an all black table, which is really dope. Shout out to Cassie, Lamia. They are fucking awesome. Emrys and Senziak, but we'll be coming out
Yeah.
with some really cool shit later. But, and Cassie is a mental health professional, so even fucking better. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Cassie has handled like safety at that table with so like I learned a lot, just the way Cassie has handled it, and I brought it back to BaddieBards because I like it so much. But
Hmm.
yeah, whatever the game is, even if it's like a one shot and y'all are doing like fucking, I don't know, bird heist, do a session 0. Why
Yeah.
not? It couldn't hurt to
Yeah.
go over it just to be safe.
Yeah. Cause it's wild. Like you don't necessarily think it'll come up in the game, but shit has a way of popping up. You know,
It's like popping up.
shit
And
has
then
a way
like
of
you never
popping
know
up.
if it's like something that'll like trigger you until it does too. So have
Yeah.
the tools set up to like properly deal with that.
Yeah, and one of the things that I like to do in my session zeros is to explain the physical things that can happen if something triggers you. Like if your butthole clench, if your palms get sweaty, if you start breathing a little heavy, if your heart start racing, let somebody know. Because a lot of times people are like, "Oh, this isn't going to trigger me. It's not that big a deal," and then it happens, and they don't realize that there's a fight or flight response happening in their body until after the game, and now they feel like shit. And they can't figure out why. That's not what we want either. So that's one of the things that I implement in my session zeros as well. Like if such and such happens, if you feel this going on, let somebody know. And I have all these things in place for my players at all of my tables. Open door policy for literally anything. So yeah, it's important. It's super important.
I just want to
Right.
hop in like real quick because I know I'm just saying for myself. I know I have really intense moments
Mhm.
in the game, and like I have for myself separated, as Alex says earlier. This is pet and Sateen. That is different. That's a different moment. So like when I'm
Mhm.
having like a really intense conversation with like for example with Oku, I think of what would pet react to that moment to their mom, or with Aepel when we were doing that fighting moment. I was like, I like that's what I keep on saying. Like at the end of the session, I'd be like, "Oh, this was great," because I could hear me playing that out as pet and separating that as my character. So if anything
100%.
does come up, I usually just go to, "Hey, Alex,
Mhm.
hey, let's review back and everything." And I like
Mhm.
open door policy if we have that type of conversation. But usually for me, it's a separation of it. And then
Mhm.
when I, for myself, say to people like, "Is this too much at this moment? Do you want me to bring it down? How did you feel?" Like I'm usually the one like, "Is this okay?" Because I know I can get really intense, but I'm playing my characters.
Yeah.
I could let you all go on about this forever because we are very passionate about this. I mean, to the point that we even put lines and veils on this interview. Um,
Mhm.
and I love that.
Yeah.
Apple, did you want to add anything before I move on to the exact
I
opposite of this?
Yeah, no, I think like the only things I would want to add it just like in terms of like what helps like me personally like with the safety aspect is one, trusting the people that you do have at the table, and then like two, those safety tools that are already in place. Like I think Alex is right, we haven't like had to use the cards yet. But I know that for me personally, like knowing that the cards are there, knowing that they are like very easy to see, knowing that like at any point in the stream you can like say like, hey, we might need to take a break and we can like take that 15, or like we can sort of shy away from that topic, or we can skip this cutscene or fade to black or whatever need to be to make sure everyone feels safe and comfortable and like represented properly. I think like better to have it and not need it has really like helped me a lot, like feel more safe exploring the kind of like heavier and more intense scenes and themes that later seasons of Echo kind of get into.
Love it so much. I'm going to flip it to the exact opposite. Have there been moments where you all have started laughing so hard you had to stop? Because I feel like that probably has happened.
My
Laughing.
mic, if we did this live, you will see me like right now. I'm laughing. I am very expressive. So
Yes.
there are so many moments, even when I say like the most intense thing, I will be laughing right afterwards. Cause like I have nervous energy, and also like I'm like, I did that.
And it. So laughing so hard we've had to stop. We have teeheed our way into pausing a few times, and it's like I'm gonna be honest. I should probably cut that out more when we're in the actual podcast, but that's part of the table, man. That's what it is. Like that's what it is. We come together, we have a good ass time, and that was the point of BaddieBards, was to show how much fun we have at this table, how much fun we have with each other. Like fuck the table, it's us friends hanging out and being dope together. Like that was the entire purpose. So yeah, we've hardy hard a little bit too much once upon a yesteryear, but fuck it, we ball. That's the whole point.
I think, yeah, the only time that like I can think of, at least like recently, is I think it was like something like either mid or late season 2, and like
Mhm.
Dr. Bleak just said like I'm crazy.
I remember that. Yeah.
I remember it. It was supposed to be like this like very like serious like blank stare moment, and then everyone just started laughing, and I could not stop laughing for like a solid like 60 seconds, and then we gathered ourselves and continued on with like this very intense scene. Like a lot of like very intense shit happened in rapid succession that episode, if I'm
Mhm.
remembering correctly. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it did. It
I
did.
love that.
Mhm.
That is fantastic. All right, so we are going to take just a little short break to, get a little bit more water, stretch out a little bit because time is absolutely flying in this interview. So we will be back in just a few minutes. Remember, if you have any questions that you want to ask the bards, I do see one that just popped up that we will open with when we come back from break. But we will see you in a couple minutes. Hello, we are back from our quick little break. And this is the community showcase with the BaddieBards. We are also taking questions from chat. If you have a question that you want to ask during this here live stream, just put it in chat. Our moderator will feed it to us. And we're going to come back with a question from chat from Wildspace Chase. Familiar. Wildspace, where Echo takes place, is kind of fitting. What are the differences in your game experiences in recorded games versus non-recorded games?
Non-recorded games are longer. They tend to be.
For sure.
They tend to be longer. But I guess it depends on the table too. But overwhelmingly the experience, at least on my end, is the same. Because it's still people just bringing their whole selves to the table and being able to do that. And all the hilarity that ensues from that.
I think,
definitely. Oh, you go.
Oh, go ahead.
Apple.
I went
No,
first
no.
last time. It's your turn. I went first last time. Muting now. Bye.
For me, I really enjoy pre-recorded more. Very tight recordings, like not tight, but like we have a time and then we edit it down. For me, live stuff, even as we were doing this interview, I do get like nervous and everything, but as I have, gotten more used to being in front of the camera and just getting into my characters and everything, it becomes like really easy. But I prefer pre-recorded. As always, live is like a little bit longer, and I just like pre-recorded better. It's like I get to review stuff and I could tell feedback and say, hey, I like this, and you could remove this definitely, and then coming back to it back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to unmute Apple.
Son of a gun. All right. So I think personally, when it comes to like as a player, for like recorded sessions, I know that my mindset is more about like getting like more things done and like progressing the story in a more like efficient and like I guess like recording friendly way. Like at like home games, like some people can attest to this. I am like very much like talking about like planning to make sure that like whatever we do is like the exact right decision in like a role play situation, like very like plot heavy, very like like side talk heavy. In terms of like recorded games though, where I am aware that like people will be like watching this for entertainment, I'm very conscious like, well, if they're watching this for entertainment, like shit needs to be happening and we can't just be like spending a bunch of time like talking about like shit that's gonna happen. So I know that like me as a player, I tend to like at the very least like, try and like either drive or like pace the story a bit faster than like when there's no time limit, no like no like pressure to like perform, I guess, at a table as opposed to like play at a table. I think it's a slight difference, but I enjoy both very much.
I could see that.
That's real. I think my experience with non-recorded games, like, and when I think about non-recorded, I'm thinking about like my home games, honestly. We can play a lot longer versus like recording. Somebody has to edit it at the end of the day, and editing like 4 hours of people talking can be really fucking hard on somebody. Alix is our editor, so we have a tight schedule when it comes to like recording Echo and doing like a roll for Thiccness and such, so it's not too much on their plate. And also, yeah, definitely what Apple said about like needing to move the plot along. But admittedly, for me, it depends on the story. Like some stories, I don't have to do that. Like an Echo, that's not my role. That's up to y'all. I don't do that shit. I'm here to cause chaos and beat ass. That's not the role I play. But in Mortui Vivo Descent, I play that role very much. Like trying to continue like moving the plot along and getting like through the mysteries that we're uncovering and such. And I think the reason I love my home, it's not that I have a preference of recording games or like home games, but I do like the home games more because we can just be like, oh yeah, let's fucking play for another 30 minutes because we are having so much fun right now. there have been many nights like where I have been playing like in my home game like with Aepel as a GM, and we are supposed to stop at like 11:30. I think one night we went to maybe like 1 at one point. I got to get up at 6 to get my kid to school, but I was like, fuck it, I'm having too much fun. So yeah, that's my favorite part about non-recorded games. We can go so we can squeeze a little bit of time if the vibes are right, you know.
Mhm.
I
And
love
if
that.
you're
We
playing with the right people, the vibes do tend to be right though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
perfect. Real quick, we'll keep this one short. But you talked about recording and editing and things like that. What is kind of the process that you all use? How long does it take to like prepare beforehand? How long do you record? Do you record multiple at once?
Oh.
And then, editing and things like that. Like, what kind of setup
Uh,
do you all use?
Like the process of getting out an episode.
Yeah.
so I prep for about a week before we record, just because, especially now, for season 3, especially now, prepping is mandatory for me at this point. So that we're hitting the right beats for each episode. Um, and then as far as like that, so that's the preparation. I'm sure the players, if I'm not mistaken, y'all have y'all's prep that y'all do as well. Um, and so I think everybody's just preparing for the episode just in general. And for me, that does involve listening to the previous episode again, or in the case of the season 3 recording, listening to the entire second season again. So that way I'm up on my P's and Q's and know what was happening. And what I want to happen next. And then as far as recording, uh, our recording has changed a skosh from last year because we put out 2 seasons last year, which was good, but it was also a lot on the production side. So we've sort of changed up our process just a skosh, and that sort of like lessens the pressure off of us, and stops it so that I don't have to edit an episode every single week, because to keep it a bean, I don't have time for that. I have too much other stuff going on at any given moment. So when we record one episode and one roll for thickness at a time. So our recording tends to be between 3.5 to 4 hours. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we allot
Yeah,
for
just
like
about.
breaks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So between 3.5 to 4 hours long. I try to keep it shorter than that though, because I am on the West Coast, but I am the only one on the West Coast. So 5 for me is 8 for them, and 9 for me is 12 for them. And that's a long ass time to be in character, sitting down, being on and performing. So, and then once the episode is recorded, editing is different, I suppose. I haven't started editing season 3 just yet. But for season 2 and season 1, I would edit one episode per week. Whatever episode was coming out that week, I would edit that week. And that involves like cleaning up the audio to the best of my ability, normalizing the audio to the best of my ability, adding background music, sound effects, blah, 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 the intro, the outro, and generally making it pretty so that way people can listen and have a good time. Um, and then it's release. Then it's release day, Friday at 9 a.m. my time, noon their time, every single Friday. Um, and
Yeah.
that was dope. I like that schedule. That schedule is also really hectic, and I we as a team wear a lot of hats, and in order to avoid burnout, it's important to sort of change those hats from time to time rather than stacking them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Even
yeah.
between like after like getting the episode edited and then getting it like actually released, there is creating graphics that like myself or Alex are creating for like episode, covers. There are sometimes like, shorts or like little snippets of like roll for thickness, because we also have to do like an entirely different thing to get roll for thickness set up. Like Sateen is really great at doing like all of BaddieBards alt text. They are very like on point when it comes to BaddieBards being like accessible in such a way, and making sure we're using like the right colors or like readable fonts and things of that nature. Shout out to my nigga Sateen, but that's like they are on point with that. So it goes through like those type of iterations as well, like making sure the alt text will be ready, scheduling the post on time, making sure that the graphics have been like done and they're everybody's approved them, and it's truly a collaborative effort. Like
It is. It is.
Cannot see how anybody would do this shit alone. But we're like the three, Alix, Sateen, and I, we are back of house, and Aepel is like our front of house. So Aepel, is an actor like at the table, player at the table. So we handle the kind of like gears, so to speak,
And the logistics.
Exactly, like of BaddieBards. And for the three of us, it can be a lot though. Like it's three of us, yes, but it's also
It's
just,
only three of us. Yeah.
right. So it can be a lot though. Like, and we've gone through a lot of like iterations of our workflow process, but I think now we're at a very like really good pace with it now, and it's taken us like what 2-3 years to like get into that good grind with it. But I think we have found our footing this year, y'all. Seriously.
Yeah,
It's been
we're
great.
full tilt, well-oiled machine type shit.
Yeah.
And like it's I say all the time how grateful I am for this team. I say all the time that this is a dream team to work with and for. Because they said it right. There's alt text that needs to be considered, which is all Sateen. There is fucking graphics and videography
Descriptions,
and
like for copy for
descriptions.
YouTube and
Oh,
all
Yeah,
of
that's
that,
what I'm
making
gonna
sure
jump
all the
in.
links are in.
yes.
Like
Yes.
I am definitely the post, like even if it's like post-production, like I am the one that's going on YouTube typing all the information, making postscripts, I do the copywriting for the for pretty much everything. We go back and forth,
Everything.
me and Bluu.
Literally everything. Yeah.
And then I'm the one who writes the descriptions, and we we do
And the
like
show notes.
and what else do I do a lot of hats.
You do all the things, Victor.
We have our like titles sort of broken up into like clubs. So Alix and I are AV club, exactly all that entails.
Yeah.
And Sateen and I are the writing club, and that's how we have like been able to navigate that. But yeah, at all the writing and that goes into like posting, and you know what I mean, like coming up with the everything of it all and scheduling it. That is Sateen's, and yeah, it is truly a collaborative effort.
It is.
I love to be on this team with y'all.
It is.
Not to get gay.
Babes, I am 2 seconds away from sobbing, so fuck outta here.
Listen.
No, so like it just this like Blueberry said, this would not work if it was not all of us. For one person to do all of that is impossible. And if it is possible, it's hard earned. But like we as a team, from front of house to back of house, everybody putting in their 2 pennies is what makes our dollar. It's great. It's a great ass team.
Yeah, I think the rest of the Diversity Saves board is trying to get me to learn that lesson, that I don't have to do it all.
Yeah, that's what they were
all-
teaching me too.
I said rest, like literally me and Bluu, we were like, oh, you can't do it? Well,
Gotta
guess
pat
what?
him away
Another
with
day.
a stick to rest. We are
Yes.
deeply serious about our rest. That's why we take like 2-month-long hiatuses too, because we need that time to like recharge and rest, like genuinely rest, not be working while you're not supposed to.
Oh.
Listen, when I tell you they have had to yank me by the scruff multiple times, I legitimately did not know what burnout felt like until they explained it to me. And I'm not bullshitting. My perfectionism, my ambition, and my determination to do the thing, whatever the thing happens to be, because it's not
It's
just
beautiful.
BaddieBards, it's anything.
Mhm,
But
it is.
it does me some justice, but it also does me some harm. And if it weren't for them, I would not know what true rest looks like. So when I say that this team is incredible, I fuck with you not. They have changed my life, literally. So yeah,
That's so
it's
I'm gonna
sweet.
cry.
it's true.
All right. So we did get a question from the chat, but I'm going to hold off on it a second because I do want to touch on it's been talked about just a little bit, but you all offer a show on your Kofi, I never know.
Yeah.
Called Roll for
Whatever.
Thickness.
Yes.
I needs to know where that name came from, and then just kind of give a little bit of like what people can expect if they're listening.
May I?
Please.
Yeah.
By all
Yes.
So in our home game Lament, I don't remember who made the joke, but Alex was
think
like
it was
describing
Sateen.
it in, I think it was it. Alex was like describing an NPC, and we were like, okay, how thick are they though? And Alex was like, you know
Yes.
what? Let me roll for it. And Alex rolled for it, and we were like, oh yeah, that is fucking it right there. So that became a table joke. Like anytime we met a new NPC, we were like, okay, let's roll for thickness.
Yes.
Love it.
Let's get into it.
Let's see how
Yeah.
juicy they truly are for real.
You know,
Mhm.
Alec just recently created a very cute logo for Roll for Thickness that I cannot wait to be released. But it's very fucking cute. It's like a little peachy melody situation with some dye. I can't wait for it to be shown.
Mhm.
It's very dope.
Yeah, and for the record, I'm gonna go full shill here. If you want to listen to the show after the show, the talkback show of us clowning and generally being our fantabulous selves, please go to our coffee, add a couple
Yes.
bucks. You never know what you're gonna get. Roll for Thickness is that girl for real. So do
Mm-hmm.
yourself the favor, get the complete experience, understand the motivations behind the characters, what we're planning on doing next. Any and everything that you want to know about the show is on Roll for Thickness. It's a 30-minute little thing. It's so much fun to record and to listen to. So
It
do
is.
yourself the favor.
Yeah, in terms of
Absolutely.
like what you can expect, it's a lot of like, like laughing and like talking about like after the session. It's also a lot of
Mhm.
insights into like character decisions and a lot of insights into like
Yes.
behind the DM screen of like why certain
Yes.
characters made certain decisions. Like little like essentially like tidbits or like side things on backstory that sort of wouldn't come up or wouldn't like naturally come up in like
Mm-hmm.
the main campaign.
Mhm.
So like a lot of like head canons, which are just normal canons because these are our characters essentially.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like explaining a lot of like fun like things and extra tidbits and extra character lore and bits like that. So there's definitely
Yeah.
some stuff there for like the lore nerds like me.
Yeah.
Love that. We dropped the link in the Twitch chat, but if you're listening to the VOD afterwards, we do have all the links down in the description for the BaddieBards Beacon and Ko-Fi and all of that.
I just want to
I
add one more thing.
yes.
The first 3 episodes of Roll for Thickness
Oh
is
yeah.
free. So you
Yeah.
can listen to episode 1, 2, and 3. I will say episode 2, season 1, Roll for Thickness, amazing.
Real good.
So you'll
Mm-hmm.
find out the information why we
Yes,
did
yes,
certain
yes.
things
Mm-hmm.
for that.
Mhm.
We did that scam stuff and everything. That was
Oh
an
my
amazing
God.
episode.
Yeah, it's free on our
Yes.
YouTube. It's free on our YouTube if I'm not mistaken. So if you want a little taste, if you want to try before you buy, you needed a moose bouche, by all means, go
Mm-hmm.
check it out. Go check it out. It's dope. We are fucking hilarious, so you're welcome.
Oh my goodness. I love it. All right. So we had a question from chat from A Souza GM, friend of the channel, has GM'd for us before. I stumble into wanting to role play so much that I have games where there is no roles for the whole session. Any tips on
Mm.
getting roles throughout the process, especially when the role players just want to role play with you?
Fuck it, just role play, big
Right?
dog. If you want to
Also
roll
what I
Honestly.
was
dice
gonna say.
about it, then roll dice about it. Like, but go with the flow. Go with what feels natural. If you want to roll dice about the situation, it's up to you as the player or the GM to ask that question to see if people want to do that. But ultimately, all we're doing is playing pretend. The dice are a conduit through which you can do that. It adds that element of chance. but you don't need that to have a good story. And as a matter of fact, there are episodes of Echo where we just fall into role playing and like we don't roll dice until halfway through the damn session. So fuck it. Go play pretend with your friends, you know? Go play pretend. It's totally fine.
I
know Apple
definitely
wanna
Hold
say
on, hold on,
something.
hold on.
Apple
Cause
wanna
cause
say
cause
something.
chat
Uh-oh.
can't see it, but seeing Sateen and Apple's like unmute button flash at the same time and keep going on and off is so fucking gay. I like, oh my god. Somebody talk
Listen,
right now.
hush.
Oh my fucking god. Apple, please.
No, I was saying like, yeah, no, like in terms of like rolling like without dice, I think that one dice had like a fun little bit of randomness. I know that like also just depending on the story you want to tell, randomness is not the way to go. Sometimes you just want like a nice improvised type narrative. But also I know that like there are some like role play horror stories or whatever where no matter what you do in a certain RP, it's just, oh, my character dodges, and the dice are a really good way of seeing whether or not your character like actually dodges or actually pulls out like the magical fucking BBEG slaying sword or pulls out a random BS magic power. And depending on the system, there are like mechanics for that and like ways to roll for that and ways to like actually like mechanically, you know, do these awesome, fun, like improvised narrative things that sometimes can feel like more organic, like when the dice are in your favor, like the dice really do like try and tell a story, and when the story is in line with what you're trying to tell, it is deeply fulfilling, you know.
It is. Sometimes
Yeah.
I just roll just to like if I'm thinking about how should my character respond to this, and I can come up with like two ways they would respond to whatever they're experiencing at the moment. I straight up roll for it. Sometimes I
I do
flip a
that all the
coin. Sometimes
time.
I'm like evens or odds, and like I let that determine
Mhm.
which way I want to go if I can't make a decision if I'm really wanting to like roll some dice.
Yeah.
Truly.
And if you really just want to roll some dice, big dog, roll some dice. You know, you bought them, roll them. You feel me? Like it doesn't have to be tied to whatever the fuck. Like if you're in the middle of some juicy, fantastic role play, you don't need to add role play. You feel me? Like you can just enjoy your time and play with your dice in general.
We're biased because I think everybody here is definitely like a roll play. I'm sorry, ROLE play over like
Hmm.
ROLL play individual. So
Yeah. Yeah. Role play is king.
yeah, yeah. Oh, hey. Sitting, what were you about to say?
Oh, no, I was saying I just saw Apple's thing, so I agree with all everyone saying.
I also agree. Not my interview, but
Uh-oh, Nekola, you sound a little low for me.
oh,
Hmm.
what happened to
Happened.
me?
I
Did I
don't
go
know.
low?
A little bit
Did
low.
Zoom disconnect your mic? It does this to me
Oh,
all the time.
it happens.
It do.
Tech goblins, it would not be a BaddieBard
How's
stream without
that?
them.
No? Yeah?
I
Not
think it's
quite.
a little better. It's not as bad, but it's a little better.
Okay. Um, I will then pose a question. I'm gonna get real close if that helps.
Okay.
I'm gonna pose a question so you all can talk while I figure this out. Um, so let's talk about you recently did a charity stream, a charity event, I believe, or it hasn't happened yet. I maybe have my timeline confused. But do you want to talk about that and then also talk a little bit about the event that's coming up in Pride that we were touching on before?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So Sateen has had the back of house sort of situation for the sort of Black History Month showcase that Apochromatic Unlimited did. Shout out to
Oh,
Mark J, big fan.
Mhm.
Love everything you do, babes. But yeah, Mark J and the rest of the Apochromatic Unlimited team put on an incredible like charity showcase. So Satine knows more of the I was just a player. Satine knows more of the back of house stuff than I do, to be sure.
Definitely it was an honor working with them. It was a lot of work, let me say. There was a lot of tables and a lot of people and a lot of moving parts, but like I have done like charity, what charity, and I forgot what else is called too, like things like this in real life also. But it was really fun working with such a like so many people that were just all on the same page and were like, yeah, we're working together, let's do this. And I just want to shout out, let me get everyone's name right. Mark,
Mhm.
Hector, Lexi, Elliot, Mad Rob. That is everyone. We did a lot of stuff in the back of house just to have art, just to have production, safety team. I was the head of the safety team and then also did some other stuff too. We were just everywhere. We were just on top of it. But that was just amazing to see how all of it came together. So many tables, so many different kind of like experiences talking like with different kind of topics and everything. So I want to bring that experience to our Pride Month. So coming up.
Yeah.
Segue.
So for Pride Month, we are doing 2 games and a panel. And one of the games is Chasing Caspian, the other one is TBD because that, as a matter of fact, that form is still out if you're interested in running a game on with the bards. There is a form going around. You can find it on Blue Sky, as a matter of fact. And I think maybe in our beacons too, I'm not entirely sure. But you can find it bopping around if you want to run a game with us. The form closes in 2 days, so feel free to fill it out and tell us what kind of game you'd like to play. We're looking for Black, queer, and or trans GMs. So if that is you, if you want to run a game with us, come tell us about it, baby. Tell us about it because we want to hear. We want to hear.
Yes, our theme is
And
Black Queer Joy.
mhm.
So come with a story that you feel like represents that and showcases that in a great light. I'm deeply excited about this. Really, really
Yeah.
fucking excited about this. I can't talk about any cast shit yet because it's like still in the works. But we just have some really dope creators that are gonna be collaborating with us on this. Yeah, I'm very happy that we are putting this together. It's gonna be a great fucking time.
And I think it's like our first time doing like a Pride Month thing, like Pride Month, capital P, capital MTN. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is our first time actually doing a thing specifically for Pride Month, having like productions and stuff that are just for that.
I mean,
So
like, isn't it our first like event, so to speak, like in
it
this type of
is.
sense?
Holy shit, you're right, it is. Because everything else was just like a season premiere or a season finale.
Yeah,
This is
like
our
different like various
first
productions
like,
and shit. Mm-hmm.
yeah, this is our first like production. I don't know.
Not production, but you know, like event though that we're putting
Event. There
on.
we go. That's the
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Chasing Caspian is gonna be fucking great.
Yes.
I can't wait to see like what type of story the other production will be. And I'm hoping we have some really great conversations at the panel.
Yeah, I think we
So, you
will.
know,
I
tell a
think we
friend to tell
will.
a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And get your booties in Twitch and hang out with us
Yes.
in chat.
Mhm.
Cause you know you want to. We're dope. We're dope. We're dope as fuck.
We will definitely be just sharing that when all of that comes out because I am also very excited to watch. Did my microphone help a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
No,
now
sound good.
literally holding it. I'm pretty sure the cord is dying because it kept disconnecting.
It
Um,
happens.
uh, I also interrupted if anybody else had anything to add before I move on to our final question. We're good. All right. So, my timer's about to go off. So, I'm going to pose one final question. And actually, it's going to be 2 questions posed into one because I want the answer to both of them. So, what What does the future look like for the BaddieBards podcast? And so, like, what are your goals? What do you have coming out? And then, personally, what projects are you all working on outside of the BaddieBards?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Other than that, like, amazing thing we just talked about, but that was BaddieBards anyways.
Yeah.
Can I talk
So-
about the VN thing yet, or should I not to edge anybody,
Ooh.
but can I though?
I mean, you can wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I think. And as a matter of fact, I think
Yeah.
we can talk about the opportunity we just got with that publisher.
Are we getting an
Yeah.
exclusive Diversity Saves exclusive right now? All of this is
Kinda,
worth
though,
it.
Kinda. So BaddieBards was, thankfully accepted into the Evil Hat Creator Program, which is really dope. And an idea that has been like bopping around in my noggin for a really long time now is doing like a God killer, like how do I explain it? It's like I wanted to mix like God killer actual play with like visual novel. So the way I wanted to go is for each episode to have like a God killer in like the universe, and the next episode, the person who played the God killer in the previous episode would play the world then, and so it'd be a new God killer, and we would kind of continue that story and build up that world in that way, until it comes to a head at the end. And I want it to be the visual novel aspect comes in, like visually I would like to have sprites of characters and like backgrounds, and for it to be like a text box in the video that has like what the characters are saying and such. So I didn't mean to share all of that, but that's
If you tell me to cut it out in the VOD, it's fine. But also,
honestly, it's cool.
I don't
It's
want
chill.
to. That sounded
it's cool.
amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. That's been bopping around my head for a while. So we're trying to put forth some effort towards that, but we need money. So support us on coffee.
Kofi.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
like
Support us on
what we do.
coffee so we can hire artists to do
So we can
the
hire
incredible
artists.
work.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we can
hire
hire
real artists.
editors, yes, and so on and so forth. And yeah, like we have the Pride event coming in June. We are currently recording season 3 of Echo, which will be like releasing in the fall. What else? Like, cause we talk a lot.
Should we talk about the zine?
Yeah, why not? We
Oh,
have been
yeah.
creating like an Echo zine for a while now.
Yeah, we're gonna be creating an Echo zine.
Yeah.
There's also some like an interim campaign between Pride and our anniversary on Halloween this year, which I've been kind of wanting to fuck around with. It's a Girl by Moonlight game. And so there's that. And then since we're talking about, can we talk about personal projects too? Because I want to
Yes.
shout out
Yep.
my favorite blueberry in the whole wide world. Intergalactic Teas is in the Griot anthology, and if y'all have not purchased it, it's $15 on Itch.io. Do yourself the fucking favor. Intergalactic Teas is the shit. It's so cool. It's such a badass system. Blueberry and Bree, who is the other person who worked on that game, chef's kiss. They did their fucking big one. It is a tribute to gay, queer, like ballroom culture. And special place in my heart. I'm so fucking proud to see what it's become. I'm proud of Blueberry. I'm proud of Bree. This entire situation is badass. So
Thank you.
yeah.
That's so sweet. I don't know why I didn't mention intergalactic teas.
was waiting for you.
Send me the link to that so we can put it in the description on YouTube. Click the description
grab
and
it.
go look at this.
I got you.
That-
Yeah,
okay. Oh
the
my God, that
Ashcan
sounds
did
amazing.
just release the Griot anthology. You're right. And with that, like we started Bree and I have started like our game studio, which is called Jelly Cool Studios, and like that is our first time releasing something. It's our first game period, but like it's also our first time releasing something under like our you know, game studio design, whatever name. So that's just pretty neat. You
Yeah.
can find us on Itch as well to follow us. I'll put a link to that in our thing.
Mhm.
Shit, and you mentioning intergalactic teas made me think of something, but now I'm blanking on it. Oh, intergalactic teas. We're hoping like we have an Ashcan version out right now, but we are hoping to have like a full book for it later this year is ambitious, but I want to say we'll have it out like at the end of this year. So you know, be on the lookout for that. It's incredibly gay. It's very cunty. And I don't know. It's our little love letter to ballroom culture. Uh, and speaking on tooting other people's horns, let's talk about Alix's game that's fucking coming out soon. That's really dope. This steampunk game. I don't even think you mentioned it on stream. I know you talked about like when we were all stream.
Yeah.
Cole is king, y'all. Cole is king, y'all. Is fucking cool. All right. I just need y'all to know that. As somebody who has seen it, it's dope as hell. Alix, please tell us about it.
Okay, so I honestly wasn't thinking about it to keep it a bean, but since we're here,
I'm not thinking
hey,
about
howdy
my
hi.
game. You wasn't thinking about your game.
Right. So, okay, Cole is King is an Afro steampunk Wakanda meets airship shit. It's very fun. Cole is spelled Kol, not Coal. But basically it's steampunk witches, and I wanted to do something dope with steampunk witches, so Cole is King was born. The Ashcan version should be coming out summer maybe at the latest. I have all the playbooks and stuff done. I need to finish typing out the basic moves so that way everybody can know how to move. There are 5 playbooks out of 12 that are going to be on the Ashcan version, and I'm hoping it will inspire people to play some games. So yeah, it's a Powered by the Apocalypse game, 2d6 system with some really cool mechanics that I sprinkled in there for the funsies. And yeah, I think it's gonna be dope. I'm having a lot of fun building it. So yeah.
Yeah, get you friends that do this because my heart is so full of joy right now. Also, for people who are newer to the space and totally not me asking this question, what do you mean by an Ashcan version?
Oh, like a beta version almost. Like you know how in a
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
in a video
wasn't
game,
that
it's
wasn't for
the
me.
it's totally cool. So an Ashcan version is the pre 1.0 version. So it's the early access, basically. Yeah.
What about Sateen and Aepel?
Mhm,
What are you guys? What are you both doing?
Who's going first
Oh,
this time?
I love
It's
that.
Sateen. It's Sateen going first.
You can go ahead, Apple.
Um, let's see. So for my projects, I have a couple of audio dramas that I'm still writing / recording. Will be posted up on there's different social medias. In terms of like personal projects and like the future of BaddieBards, I would like to DM a BaddieBards campaign sometime down the road.
Yes.
So there's been some talks of that in the works already.
Feed
But yeah,
me.
I would
Okay.
like to. It's been a while since I've done like recorded GMing before, so I'll have to like make sure that all my ducks are in a row, all my T's are crossed, all my I's are dotted, all that good stuff, and bring forth a story that I am like proud to like put in front of people. So those are my plans so far.
Amazing, Apple. Amazing.
Mhm.
I'm always behind everyone in this team. Like, what are y'all not advertising your stuff? What are you doing?
Says the one person who
Talk
hasn't
about it.
advertised their stuff. What are you up to,
I'm
Sateen?
about to. I'm about to. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. For me, I'm really interested in this. We were talking about it in like last year, the Emerson project. So I'm
Yes.
really interested in a world darkness complete anthology that will be multiple DMs. Mostly it's gonna be me, Alix, and Apple and we're gonna, combine all our stories together at the end. And also, I'm also working on a game. It's completed, but it's like I need to do it's also an Afghan version called Homecoming, and it's basically if you think about someone who those tapes that you find in some of the video games of somebody discussing what they have saw or done. You basically are writing that story out, and at the end, you have to find out what has happened to that person. So that's all I'm giving.
Yeah. It was
I
honestly
fucking love
Sateen's
that.
game between Sateen and Blueberry. That is where Cole is King came from. That I literally talked to Satine about what it takes to build a game. And like Satine gave me some incredible advice, gave me a huge best boost of confidence, and then like watching Blueberry and Bree work together was incredibly inspiring. And so bada bang, here's Cole is King. And it's just really dope to see the multitudinous different things that we have going on outside of BaddieBards. Speaking of, I do think I don't know, I would love to play some more games, to just play some more games with these awesome people. I think that'd be fun.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Chomping at the bits to get Aepel and Sateen in the GM chair.
Begging
Cool.
on bended fucking knee.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only one who hasn't
It
GM'd
needs to
anything
be
just yet.
perfect.
What you said, Apple?
It needs to be perfect.
It
Yo,
doesn't.
yank them up by the scruff like y'all be yanking me up. Yank somebody snatch Apple.
I don't know what to do with that one. I don't. That's the problem child of the group.
Hey yo.
That was so much. And I know that you all talked
It
about how
was.
much you love rest. So like don't forget to do that.
Drag us. Cause yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right.
I will say though, some people like they talk about sleep. I don't know what that means. I read about it, but anyways, we will put see now I'm all messed up. I'm messing up our Google Doc and everything.
Oh no.
Yes, all the links to that will be done in the description on the VOD. We posted some in the Twitch chat, but be sure to check out all those amazing projects. When those games do come out, please, we would invite you to come back on the community showcase, maybe run a one shot or something like that. Just to help experience it. And I'm just going to watch them all because those all sound really amazing. All right. We have run a little bit long, but that's okay because it was entirely worth it. But to close us out, let's go ahead and one more time go around, say who you are, where we can find you. All of those links will be down in the description. But go ahead and say we'll go backwards. We'll start with Aepel. Who's muted?
Sorry, my internet wigged the hell out. Can you repeat the past 10 seconds? Sorry.
I am so neurodivergent. I don't know what I just said. Okay.
Outros.
We are gonna outros. Who you are, where we can find you, and we'll go backwards. Aepel.
Yeah, no. Like I said, my name is Apple Juice. It's Apple Juice spelled like Beetlejuice. If you see me typing into the Twitch chat, then you'll know what I mean. You can find me primarily on TikTok for now. There is going to be a YouTube and a Blue Sky coming up soon, and they will also likely be Apple Juice spelled like Beetlejuice. But yeah, once I start having some projects that are ready to go, I'll be posting them pretty much everywhere you can find those sorts of things. So yeah.
Beautiful. Sateen.
Hey, my name is Sateen Bonnet. My pronouns is my name and none. You can find me over at Blue Sky where I be yapping a lot, and also with BaddieBards. And the game I'm currently in is on Nerds and Dice. Here, there, monster. This is our town. I play a confused, older skin changer. It's amazing. Go watch it. It's very chaos related. feelings, vibes, and yeah, you can just find me mostly on Blue Sky.
Bluu.
Hi, y'all. My name is Bluu. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me in the internet streets as King V _ and that's King with a Y. You can find me anywhere BaddieBards is. You can find me on Prim the Oddalotls channel on Tuesdays beginning April 1st again for our Call of Cthulhu Mortui Vivo Descent campaign. On Mondays and beginning in April, you can find me on Wanderer's Haven channel for an Arrhenius campaign. And then on alternating Tuesdays, you can find me on Cat the Dungeon Mom's channel for a We Are All Mad Here campaign, where I play a 17-year-old at grief camp who lost an aunt. So we'll see how that fucking goes. I'm trying to think what else. Soon I'll be you can also catch me on Cassie's, who goes by Lamia on Blue Sky. We'll be releasing episodes soon, but it's called Windy City Nihilism, and we are using the Inner Demons TTRPG system. And it's like, we're fighting capitalism turned demons in Chicago, and it's a good fucking time. And I think that's it.
I love that there are more projects coming out in the outros, and I'm so much to absorb.
So
I'm
many.
exhausted, and I can't wait to experience them all. Let's wrap it up with Alix.
Hey, howdy, hi, y'all. My name is Alix. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me bopping around these internet streets. Sometimes I stream. Don't hold your breath. You can find me at beacons.ai /AlixAMA. And I guess, what am I working on? I have games that I'm doing. I'm running games. So I guess keep your eyes open for season 3 of Echo that will premiere eventually. And be sure to be sat for our Pride events. Chasing Caspian is the game that I am working on right now, most specifically, and it's going to be a damn good time. It's a fairy noir, which is film noir except make it fairies, and I am gonna have a great time. There's a great cast involved. Be sat for our audio drama, which is happening in June as well, and be sat for that panel, baby, because we gonna talk our shit, and it's gonna be worth it. So keep your eyes open. BaddieBards has a lot of badass things coming down the pipeline, and you're gonna want to see all of them. Trust.
And one last thing, go listen to World Replica. It is fully out now.
Please.
and
We
it's
didn't even have time to talk
amazing.
about it.
We did. We might have to do a part 2 of this because I had a great time.
Same time
okay.
next week, y'all.
Yes.
Same time next week.
Oh yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got a plan.
But yeah, check out World Replica. Also on all BaddieBards channels wherever you listen to podcasts at.
Where we listen to
Listen, you're gonna want to
podcasts,
check it out.
beacons.ai /BaddieBards for all kinds of links, including your Ko-Fi, coffee. We're just going to pronounce it every way. All right. I have been Nekola the Druid on all the social places, the director of programming for Diversity Saves. This has been our first, and I'm going to say successful, community showcase. If you want your project featured on the community showcase, check the description down below if you're watching the VOD, or visit our website at diversitysaves.org. Scroll down a little bit and you'll see the big blue button to apply for the community showcase. I think that is all for us this evening, and we appreciate everybody that stopped by and asked questions in the Twitch chat. And I guess we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.